Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining the Run Your Day podcast. I know we haven't had an episode in a while, but we're getting back on the horse here. And today's topic inside of the new theme of the week of perseverance is just don't ever stop. Thank you very much for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Havner.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining today. I have to apologize right off the bat for not having any kind of episodes over the past couple days. This was the Labor Day weekend, so I was out of town at my best friend's wedding. It was beautiful up in Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania. Really, really nice wedding. Really good time to spend with some friends and family. And overall, it was really, really nice. I'd love to hear how your Labor Day weekend went. And then yesterday, just was still backed up with things to do and just didn't get around to doing an episode. So I apologize for that. But it also was a blessing in disguise because I did realize that I think moving forward, I'm going to make some changes to the podcast here. And the first change that I think I'm going to do is that I will start making these episodes a little more sporadic, not currently every day of the week. I'm still going to do 3 to 4 a week, I believe, inside of these, themes of the week. Honestly, that we're getting down to the point where I'm really getting close to launching the RunWage app that I've been working on for so long. So that's taking up a lot of my time. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to start sharing more and more about it. It's an app that I'm developing to basically take fitness and especially running and turn it into a way to actually make money, to bet on yourself, to put money down on your commitments, change your accountability, and really change the way that you approach your fitness levels and especially your running. It has changed my life. It really helped me get in shape for my wedding, get back in shape in my life using that methodology. And I have since adapted that idea to be something that I wanted to create in an app to help thousands and thousands of people out there that I know struggle with accountability and commitment, a lack of accountability and commitment. And this app I know is going to help you and change you. And I've been pouring my heart and soul into making this app, and it's coming down the pipe soon. So at least for the time being, as far as the Run Your Day podcast goes, I'm going to be a little more sporadic. I'm going to still try to be fairly consistent with you guys. But for the time being, that's really what it's going to be moving forward. So, but also at the same time, I'm going to level this stuff up a little bit. Like, we're going to start diving a little more deeper into stuff. I might make a little bit longer of episodes. So really those are the kind of immediate changes that I'm thinking about making. Well, I shouldn't say that I'm thinking about making, that I'm going to make. So I just wanted to make those quick comments there. So let's dive right into it today. So today's topic, just don't ever stop. The theme I picked this week was perseverance. And inside of this episode of just don't ever stop comes into this concept of, if you're tired of starting over all the time, then just stop quitting, right? Like this happened to me a lot inside of my life for a lot of years. Like, I would constantly find myself always starting over at things. Like I would start one thing and I wouldn't quite finish it. And then I would move on to the next thing. And I almost had that shiny object syndrome where I was just always chasing the next best opportunity that came my way. And I realized after a while that this was not a productive way to be going about things. Now, granted, I didn't have anybody looking over my shoulder telling me that what I was doing was stupid. So I kind of had to figure this out on my own. But eventually I did realize that, if you're tired of constantly starting over and starting fresh, then just stop doing multiple things. Stop quitting. If you're constantly quitting at things, it's going to be a habit. It's going to become who you are. And that is who I used to be. I used to be someone that would just, oh, I got this great idea. I'm going to go with it and I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to commit to this. And then a week later, I'd be bored with it and I'd move on to the next thing. And then the week after, I'd move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I never got anywhere with things, and I got frustrated, and I'm like, why do I not have the results in my life that I'm expecting? Well, duh, Dan, you never finish anything. I'm like, hello. So really what I want to talk about is, in your life, if you are trying to work towards something, or you're constantly finding yourself not getting the results in whatever area that you're trying to get results in, take a step back and look objectively at, are you really, following through on things? Are you really completing your commitments and, genuinely trying to get things done before moving on to other things? When you make a to-do list or a checklist, are you crossing everything off on that checklist before you move on to something? Like if you're constantly adding things to the list and you're checking things off simultaneously, that list is never going to be complete. So you're constantly adding, that is a good thing to constantly be adding wood to a fire, which is, an episode for another day. But at some point you need to realize that, like, you only have so many hours in the day and you can only do so much. Like, you are not a superhero. And you can only accomplish so many things in your day, in your week, in your month, and in your year. You need to prioritize. But at the same time, if you keep stopping things, if you just keep not following through to the full extent and to the full extent of your capabilities, you're never going to get anywhere. Like, you're never going to have the results that you're seeking if you're constantly starting over and starting from scratch. You have to build upon things. I talk about this methodology of hitting singles. In baseball, the guy hits a single. The next guy hits a single. Now you got guys on first and second. Next guy hits a single. Next guy hits a single, a single, a single. You don't need to hit home runs all the time. You don't need to hit them out of the park all the time. Yeah, hitting a home run every once in a while is awesome. But figure out what you need to do in order to get on base. In baseball, there's multiple ways to get on base. You can get a hit. You can get hit by a pitch. You can walk. You can even strike out when the catcher misses the ball and end up on first. Like, there are a lot of ways to get on base. So really what I'm trying to sum up in this episode is that, if you're tired of constantly being stuck in some place, or you're constantly finding yourself, in the same situation over and over again, like, one, you're probably not pushing yourself as hard as you could be. You're not stepping outside of your comfort zone to grow. You're not risking anything. And you're probably quitting on yourself more often than you realize. Like, you're probably telling yourself that you're achieving some things when you're really not. Like, you're not being truthful with yourself. You keep quitting, and then you keep getting that motivation to start over, and then you're starting from scratch again. And you haven't built anything. You haven't taken those steps. It's like going up 5 steps and then taking all 5 steps back down. Or, going up 5 steps and taking 3 steps back, and then taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, and then 5 steps forward and 3 steps back. You're never getting anywhere. You're never getting to the top of the staircase. You're not progressing. You're not growing. So think about how you can, this is going to sound weird, but how can you stop stopping? How can you get to the point where you're constantly building upon things? You're not tearing yourself down. You're not tearing your progress down. and burning it to the ground every once in a while, and you actually stabilize your progress, and you move on to the next plateau, and then you move on to the next plateau. So think about this inside of your life today. How can you stop stopping? It sounds weird, but stop quitting on yourself. Stop being someone that doesn't follow through, because that won't get you anywhere inside of your professional life, and it won't get you anywhere inside of your personal life. Whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, whether you're trying to do a fitness goal, a marriage, parenting, whatever it is, just don't ever stop. So that's going to wrap up today's show. That's my challenge for you today. Think about that during your day today. Be sure to like us or follow us on Twitter at RunWage, and like our Facebook page, which is now live, RunWage on Facebook. Please give us a like, a follow, a comment, anything that you can. The Run Your Day podcast is affiliated with RunWage, so those are our social networks. I'm going to start adding more and more content on there. I'm going to give some updates on the app. Like I said, it is coming soon. I'm going to start putting together some kind of launch sequence, some kind of promotions, anything that is out there that I can get my hands on to provide some value up front and get some people started on this and start this process of changing your commitment and changing your accountability. So thank you very much again for joining, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.